Satnam. Hi Astro friends and family. My name is Karine. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher and also astrologer, and I work on Lada's channel. And today we are going to talk about career and money for 12 signs in 2023. And remember, this is a general reading, so everyone has a different chart. So if you want a specific one for yourself, you can check the link below and you can find the information how to book reading with me. So before we start, just a quick introduction how I read the chart and also how you can use this reading. So I use tropical zodiac and the whole sign house system, and I apply Vedic astrology techniques in all my readings. So please don't use any unequal house system for this reading. Traditionally, people use sidereal zodiac and in Vedic astrology. But Ernst Wilhelm, the teacher that I learned from, if you're interested in astrology, you must have heard of this person. And he stopped using sidereal zodiac for Vedic astrology. I think it's in 2005, because he tests tropical and sidereal for all the Vedic techniques. And tropical trumps every time. So that's why he stopped using sidereal for Vedic astrology, I think at least 10 years ago. So this is where and how I learned from him, and this is also how I'm going to do my readings. And usually I use planetary dristis, like each planet, they have a specific eyesight, and when they shoot the eyesight to different places, that also sends the influence to the houses. But because the topic today is about career and money, so I will only mention the aspect, the dristi that is related to this topic. So not every aspect will be mentioned. So Jupiter will be in Aries from 21st of December and will stay in this sign until 16th of May in 2023. So that means right now, Jupiter is very soon to entering into Aries and will stay there for at least 5 months. And then Jupiter will enter Taurus from 17th of May, and then we will stay there for a year. So until 25th of May 2024. And Saturn will enter in Pisces on 7th of March and will stay there until 13th of February 2026. So almost 3 years time. But in between, Saturn will enter into Aries for a brief time and then will go back to Pisces. So approximately 3 years time. And so this reading is good if you look at from your rising sign as well as your moon sign. In Vedic astrology, apart from the birth chart, they also have this moon chart. So it means that we read everything from the moon's perspective, moon's placements. So your moon signs become your ascendant, your first house. And so you can look at the transits from the moon, and it's called Gochara in Vedic astrology. That's the specific term for that. And you can also, if you like, you can also turn your charts, like your birth chart, and read from your moon placements. Particularly if you're over 50 years old, it's good to look at from your moon chart, because all the planets will be mature during that time. For example, Rahu matures at the age of 42 and Ketu matures at the age of 48. So all the planets and the 2 points, they will be mature. And if you read from your moon, you will also feel more consciously and emotionally connected to the prediction, because moon rules our consciousness and emotions. And this reading, it's not so much about looking at from your sun sign, but if you like listen from your sun sign, you can do that as well. Now, there are several rising signs for next year. They are quite important. They are having a big year next year in 2023. So like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, and Leo. They all have planets go through their first house, particularly Aries and Taurus. These two signs, they have planets go through their 12th house as well as their first house. So they're having the beginning and also the ending happening at the same time. So this is like big year. Why first house is very important is because when planets transit in the first house, it's the most important transit in life. The first house rules you, your path in life, your identity, who you are. The planets that are transiting through the first house are going to have a profound impact on your growth. And the planets that move through the first house is going to make you who you are, make you become who you're meant to be, and also lay out the path for you. And because the ascendant is always about learning to becoming the best version of you along the path. So when planets move through the first house, each planet will do what it needs to do to help you to become better in your life. For example, different planets, they have different mission. Particularly when planets move through your first house and go retrograde, becomes extremely important. That's why Jupiter and Saturn, when they transit your first house, is always important, because these two planets, they always they go retrograde when they transit in one sign. Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they are fast-moving planets, but when they transit your first house and go retrograde, they become extremely important. Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon. So Saturn will travel through the second house from March 2023, and it will stay there until February 2026, so almost 3 years' time. And Jupiter will move through the third house from 21st of December 2022, and it will stay there for 5 months until mid-May in 2023. And afterwards, Jupiter will travel through your fourth house from mid-May 2023, and it will stay there for 1 year. So start with Saturn. Saturn transits in the house usually makes us take things more seriously in the area of life, more disciplined, more commitments, and more efforts to make. And Saturn also brings structure, restrictions, challenges to matters that are related to the second house. So when Saturn transits in the second house, the money situation will be challenged and become more restricted. But don't be nervous. It could be that the outer circumstances naturally make the financial situation restricted. Perhaps you just moved to a new city, moved to a new country, or maybe you just bought a new car, a new house. So you need to be more careful with your money situation, with your spending. And it could also be that you decide to take a sabbatical year, so you don't have income naturally, or you start an internship, or maybe your money is tied in with investments. You get penalty if you touch the money before the agreed time, and that's why you don't have a lot of cash flow to utilize during this transit. And it could also be that you lose some money with your investments, so you need to be more careful with your money. And it could also be that you consciously restrict or control your money, your spending. Perhaps you're saving up for something big, for example, buying a house. And some people, they can actually save more during this transit because the attitude towards money becomes more conservative, restricted. They fear that they might not have enough, so they end up saving more. And second house also rules resources, any kind of resources like food, support, people, material resources. And these kind of things might be less available for you during this time, like lack of resources, lack of materials, lack of certain ingredients in your pantry. So you need to learn to work with what you have at hand, or also readjust your thinking. When Saturn transits the second house, it's not like you're going to become poor, but life circumstances would definitely make you more aware of money and how you use your money. And Saturn is almost about like structure and order and taking things in a practical and realistic fashion. So by the end of the transits, you will become more efficient and better with your financial situation. Like you'll become better manage your finances and become more realistic about your money. But if you're the type of person who spends money recklessly, then you will feel quite tough in the beginning of the transits, definitely. So hopefully this reading can give you some heads up, mentally prepare you for what to expect, so you know how to cope with it. On the psychological level, Saturn transits in the second house, it can create more fear and this lack mentality during this transit. So you might become overly worried about your money situation, and you can become more penny pinching or try to hoard possessions or hoard money, items and everything. So pay attention to the hoarding behavior. And Saturn has this shrinking, reducing, like a cold effect energy. So during this transit, you might also want to downsize or get rid of things, like more minimalistic. For example, my partner, when he had Saturn transit in the second house, he got rid of a lot of things. He got rid of lots of shoes, clothes, beddings, old furniture, and food. The second house also rules the food that we put in our mouth. And so Saturn transit in the second house is actually not a bad position, because second house is a Venus-ruled position, Venus-ruled house. And Venus is a friend of Saturn. So the final result of this transit will be manifest in an elegant, constructive fashion. And when Saturn transit in the second house, it's also looking at 4th house, 8th house, and 11th house. So 4th house is to do with properties, home, and stuff. And 8th house is to do with the money. 11th house, another house of money. So quite a lot of money going on here, like money-centric topics. 4th house is to do with the house, to do with the properties, home, domestic environments, living condition. And when Saturn transit in the second house, also shooting the influence to the 4th house, it can mean it brings some stress, delays, challenges in those areas, in those topics, especially if you have investments that's tied in with real estate, tied in with buildings, constructions, or if you work in home-related business, professional fields, like home staging or interior design or something like that. Or if you're owner of a property, or if you're looking to buy a house, or if you're looking to buy a vehicle, somehow your money is tied in with 4th house matters, then you need to be careful with your money. Because if you have some kind of constructional issues at home, any kind of delays can, it can actually cost you more money. So pay attention to that. And 8th house is somebody else's money, your spouse's money, your business partner's money, other people's resources, your joint resources with your spouse or with your partner, business partner. So when Saturn transits the second house, looking at the 8th house, 2nd and 8th house, it's a money axis. So naturally, there will be some money discussion or situations revolving around money. 11th house, Saturn transit the second house is also looking at 11th house. So another money-making houses, gains, marketplace, achieving your material goals. So yeah, it's quite money-centric situation. And Saturn can create some delays and obstacles, challenges in those areas. But like I said, Saturn transit in the second house is not going to make you poor. But you would definitely feel stressed and worried and frustrated because it's about money and resources. But ultimately, the goal of this transit is to make you more structured, organized, practical about how you spend your money, what you do with your money, and you will manage your finances and resources more wisely. Jupiter will stay in your 3rd house from now, like 21st of December, and will stay there until mid-May 2023, so 5 months time. 3rd house is the business house. So Jupiter gives many and brings expansion to things that are related to 3rd house. So there will be more communication, more meetings, conversations, planning, arranging things to happen, paperwork, administrative tasks, more short distance travels, or your schedule will be busier during this transit. And on the plus side, it also brings multiple business opportunities to you, because 3rd house rules any kind of business activities, transactions. And when Jupiter transits in the 3rd house, it produces benefits in all aspects of business. For example, sales, marketing, advertising, public relations, social media communication, or starting your business projects. So you can expect like many promotional events, preaching, selling ideas, talking to people, seminars, workshops, lots of opportunities for teaching, training, and opportunities for business collaborations. And if you're in the media industry, more opportunities for example, like photographs, filming, editing, podcasts, radio, television, or different media platforms. And if you're working with your hands, because 3rd house rules our hands, so painting or makeup artists, bakers, with your hands, you're making food. If you're tattooists or nail artists, there will be more work opportunities and business as well. Third house rules teammates, teamwork. There will be more opportunities to work with other people, work with others, exchange ideas, and the relationship with your teammates will be improved during this transit. Third house also rules skills and learning. So you'll be inspired to learn something new, some new skills, some new information. And you'll be more curious about many different things, but not in depth, because third house is not like in depth or taking your idea or learning to a higher level. It's more like broad interests in many different things. Third house also rules the mental process. Your mind becomes more optimistic and positive. You can use this time to plan things that you want to manifest, plan the projects, arrange meetings with benefactors or with friends that they can help you with your career. Then Jupiter will move through fourth house from mid-May 2023 and it will stay there for 1 year. And Jupiter is a planet of higher wisdom. It brings expansion and luck. So fourth house rules our emotional well-being, how safe we feel in this incarnation in the world. So it rules our private world. So during this transit, you will feel secure in who you are. And you have this inner sense of stability and confidence. It's a very supportive transit in regards to your psychology. On the more mundane level, you can expect joy and comfort from your home, your family, or place of living, even though there might be something troubles you in your family or in the domestic environments, because Saturn transit in the second house is also looking at the fourth house. So it shoots the influence to the fourth house. It creates some kind of trouble, obstacles, and delays in regards to the fourth house matters. But overall, you will still be able to enjoy and get nourished from your family or from your place of living. Fourth house rules home, lands, property, farms, cars, vehicles, bicycles, any type of vehicles. And Jupiter can bring some blessings in those areas. So if you're looking for a house, if you're looking to buy a car, you will be able to find the one that you're happy with. But bear in mind the luck and also the blessing that Jupiter brings to the fourth house will be reduced, because Saturn transit in the second house is also looking at the fourth house. It shoots the influence to the fourth house. So you may not feel 100% lucky with fourth house matters. And there might be some issues, hassle, challenges regarding fourth house matters. Especially earlier, I mentioned that if your money is tying or if your investment is tying with home, real estate, lands, and everything. And if you need to fix your home, if you're doing renovation, reconstruction, delays can create more problems. Like it can cost you more money because it takes longer time. So pay attention to that. And if you're a landlord, there might be requirements to replace some items, something like that. So some hassles that you have to deal with. And there will still be some stressful and challenging situations in regards to fourth house matters. So not everything is smooth sailing when Jupiter transits in the fourth house, because Saturn is also shooting the influence to that. Okay, so that was a brief review about your career and money in the upcoming year. I wish you a year of abundance, supports, love, wisdom, and guidance. And if you need a personal reading, you can find the information in the link below. Thank you.